Hey, what's up? It's William from Rocket Zero and welcome to another Pixel art tutorial. In this video, we're going to be building Enchantress from Suicide Squad. Now, I built some other Suicide Squad members, I guess, or part of the squad. So we have El Diablo, Deadshot with the mask, Harley Quinn, and then the Joker. So a lot of people were asking for me to finish the whole squad. So here's the rest of them, starting with Enchantress. Let's begin. She was designed by the Oleg, description down below. What do we need? Well, we need some black wool, white stained clay, green stained clay, lime stained clay, cyan stained clay, green wool, light gray wool, prismarine, and then gray wool. So we're going to begin with just 3 blocks of black wool, but let's line up. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2, and then 1. We're going to skip a space, and we're going to go 1, 2, 3. And then 1, 2, and then 1 again. And those are going to be her boots or shoes or whatever you want to call it. That's just what she's going to be using for her feet. Then we're going to grab our white stained clay. We're going to place 1 block. We're going to grab our light gray wool and we're going to place 1 block here. And that's the only light gray wool we're going to need. So we can actually just throw away that block. And we need to go get... Where's the stained glass at? Here we go. We're going to grab our gray stained glass. And we're going to save that for later. But now back to her. For her legs, we're going to need some white stained clay, and we're going to place 2 blocks right here. So 1, 2. And then in this part, we're going to go with our green stained clay, and then our white stained clay. So there we have her legs and her shoes. Now we need to work on her midsection and her pants. So for her pants, we're going to grab our green wool, and we're going to place 1, 2, and 3. Then we're going to grab our green stained clay, and we're going to place 1 block here, and then white stained clay in the middle. So make sure you guys have this for your Enchantress. Now, I really like her because she looks really cool, especially because this is kind of like a living pixel art, because the longer you go, the vines are going to grow like just longer, so you got to constantly trim them, so it's kind of fun. But back to her again. So now for the second row, we're going to need our white stained clay, then our lime stained clay, and then finally our white stained clay. Now for the next row, what we're going to do is that we're going to grab our green wool and we're going to place 1, 2, 3, just like that. And then on the other side, we're going to do the same thing. So 1, 2, and 3. And in the middle, we're going to grab our cyan stained clay and we're going to place 1 block. Then we're going to grab our white stained clay and we're going to place 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And in the middle, a cyan stained clay. So this is what we have for her so far. Now we're going to grab our lime stained clay and replace 1 block here and here. And then what we're going to do next is that we're going to grab our white stained clay and we're going to place 1 block here and here. Then we're going to grab our green wool and we're going to place green stained clay here, green stained clay on the other side, and then next a white stained clay and a white stained clay. Now we're going to grab our lime stained clay this time, and we're going to place 1 block right here, and then a green. So over here, same thing, a lime and then a green. Now what we're going to do is that this part's a little bit tricky. We're going to have to place 2 lime stained clays, but then we're going to have to take the top one out, and then green stained clay, and then 2 white stained clays to the side, and that's going to be her arm. Now let's do it on this side. I feel like I'm going kind of quickly, but I'm excited to get this pixel art finished. So we're going to grab our lime stained clay, we're going to place 2 blocks and take this one out, and then below it a green stained clay and 2 white stained clays. Awesome. So we're going to do the vine stuff later. Don't worry about that. As you can see, it's not in our hotbar, but we're going to do that later. But for now, we're going to need to give her a neck, so we're going to go behind her. And we're going to place just 3 blocks of our, what's this called? Our cyan stained clay. Now for her face, we're going to grab our white stained clay. And we're going to place it right here, and we're going to bring it back to the same level. And then we're going to drag it 1, 2, 3. And then 4. And then we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4. So in all, that is 9 blocks across. So just make sure this part ends like right here, where the second arm is, or not second arm, but for the second block of her arm. And now we can work on her eyes. For her eyes, we're going to grab our cyan stained clay. And we're going to place 1, 2, 3. Then we're going to place 3 white stained clays. And then 1, 2, 3 of our cyan stained clay. Then we're going to grab our black wool. And we're going to place 1, 2, 3. And then again 1, 2, 3. And then 1, 2. And then our gray wool. Now we're going to connect them with 3 blocks of our cyan stained clay. And now we're going to do the same thing we did over here, but right here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then of course 1 block of our gray wool. And that's going to be her eyes. So she's coming along really nicely. Now what we're going to do next is that we're going to grab our white stained clay. And starting right here, we're going to go up by 6 blocks. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's go to the other side and do the same thing. So starting right here on like the mascara part of her face. I don't know what to call this part. Just like right under her eyeballs. We're going to place 6 blocks of our white stained clay going up. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then we're going to drag this row across. Fill this part in, and now let's take a step back, see what we have so far for our Enchantress, which is played by the wonderful Cara Delevingne. I'm not even sure if I'm saying that right, but like I usually do, I have a way with messing up words, so hopefully I said that word right. So now back to here, we're going to skip 1 space, and we're going to go up 2 blocks. Then we're going to skip another space, and we're going to go 2 blocks. Then 1 block, 2 blocks, skip a space, 2 blocks. So that was entirely too fast. Let me take a little break. Slow this down just a little bit. What we're going to do is that right here, we're going to place 2 blocks and skip a space, then 2 blocks, then 1, then 2 blocks, skip a space, 2 blocks, and then the 1. So this is what she should look like for you guys so far. Now what we're going to do next is kind of a cool little part. We're going to do the little like middle thing. I still haven't seen the movie, so I'm guessing she's the bad one in it. So spoilers if you haven't seen it, maybe. I don't know if she's the bad one or not, but that's what I'm guessing. So now we're going to place 3 blocks just like that of our black wool. And then we are going to grab our prismarine and we're going to place 1, 2, 3. And then we're going to place 5 blocks on this second row. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Then we're going to place 3 blocks here. So 1, 2, 3. And then on this side, we're going to place 1, 2. And then 1, 2. 1, 2. I guess it's like a crescent moon type of thing. I don't know. I haven't seen the movie, so I don't know what her powers are. But she looks evil from the trailers. But I guess all of them are evil, so... And then 2 more blocks here. I should definitely see that movie. So make sure you guys have that for like the top of her head. Her little like moon thing that she has going on. Maybe it has a name, but I don't know it. And now what we're gonna do is that we are going to grab our black wool and starting right here, this little block, we're gonna go up by 5 black wool blocks. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we're gonna go up by 7 here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now we can fill this part in. Just go straight up. Awesome. Now we're gonna go back over here and starting in this block right here. Actually, I'm sorry, right here. We're gonna go up by 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we're gonna go up by 7 in this little empty gap. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And then we can fill this part in. Awesome. Now what we're gonna do, as you can see, this part of her head is like caved in, not caved in, which is just part of the hairstyle. It's 1 block behind. So what we're gonna do is that just right here, we're just gonna do this. We're gonna go behind it and we're just gonna fill it in. Normally. Right here she has 2 blocks, so let's go behind here. 2 blocks. And there we go. That's all we have to do. Sorry if this part's a little confusing. But once we take it out, it'll make sense. Just make sure you guys have that filled back up with our black wool, but 1 layer behind the crescent moon thing, which is what I'm calling this. So Make sure it looks like this. Let me go around it. Maybe this is an easier angle to see what we did. So just make sure you guys have that. And now what we're gonna do, she looks kind of cool with short hair. But now what we're gonna do is that you see this area, this part is also one row back. I think that adds a lot of detail and it looks really cool. So that's what we're gonna be doing. So we're gonna go back here. And we're gonna move this all the way here. And then we're gonna go 1, 2, 3. Just like that, like a long T. And then we're gonna place 2 more blocks right here. So 1, 2, and actually this needs to be 4. So make sure you guys have that like that. So once again, right below this part of her like cheek, we need to go down by 4. But all of that needs to be in the row behind it. So now let's go over this again. We're gonna place just 3 blocks here. So 1, 2, 3. And then we're gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, and 2 more blocks just like that. Pretty cool. And now we're gonna go back up here. Actually looks like she has a mullet. So now we're gonna go back up here and we're gonna place, starting right here, we're gonna go all the way down, just flanking the side of her head. We're gonna continue going all the way down, but this time it's gonna go 1 block farther than this. Does that make sense? So remember, just start 1 block before the top, and you're gonna extend this all the way down 1 block more. Hopefully that makes sense. And now what we're gonna do is that we're gonna go back up here and we're gonna skip 2 spaces this time. So it should start right there. So leave a gap of 2 blocks. And then connect it, and we're gonna go all the way down, extending it 1 block farther down in the row before it. So just make sure the bottom looks like this. And the top looks like this. Hopefully I'm doing a good job of explaining it. I know this part's really difficult because there's really no way to tell because all of the blocks are the same, so they kind of fade in. So just make sure it looks like this. This would be a great stopping point, and just make sure that your screen matches my screen, and we'll be doing a really good job of finishing this pixel art. So now we're going to go back up here, and we're going to start in this block right here, 1 before the top, and we're going to bring it all the way down, going 1 block farther down, just like we did over there. So now let's go back up here, and we're going to give 2 spaces, so 1, 2, and it should start right here. So leave a gap of 2, and then we're going to just drape this all the way down, going 1 block farther than the one before it. So that's what her hair should look like. Now here comes the fun part. We're going to add the vines and some of the blocks. So that part is going to be complicated, but we're going to be able to do it if we just pay attention. So what we're going to need to do is that we need to find the vines, which is right here. Guess we can replace her black because we no longer need her black. And what we're going to do is that, look, this is what happens. You have to constantly trim it. But I'll show you what we're going to do. We're going to grab our vines and we're going to place just right here. We're going to place one here, and then here, and then over time they're just going to start dropping down and they'll look like that, which will look really cool. So just place those 3 there, and maybe 1 here just for the fun of it. So just add those blocks of our vines. So now let's go do it in this side. Remember, starting right here, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, and if you want, just 1 starting here, and then over time they're going to grow. And you're just gonna have to trim them regularly, or just let them grow wild, because I mean, I guess this girl's really like spooky, so being messy is kind of a plus. Now for this part, this is the tricky part, but I think it's one of the coolest things in this pixel art, because you know, like she's summoning things or whatever. I haven't seen the movie, but in all the promo art, she has like this like fog looking thing around her, so that's what that's supposed to represent. And the way I did it was just that starting right here, I'm gonna place 1, 2, 3, and then maybe 4. And we're just going to go straight up, stopping about 1 block higher than the top. And then we're just going to do it again. And then we're going to go up again. So you're basically just going to make like a big square with these things around it. And then what's going to happen next is that once you like just do a big square of our, what's this glass called? Our gray stained glass. What you're going to do is that you're just going to start going insane, breaking the ones that you don't want. Just to give a couple blocks, just like a floaty vibe to it. So this is all you have to do. Just go around, break him. And this part's up to you. If you want to have it like really like dense fog, have a lot of blocks. But just for the sake of this tutorial, we're not going to worry about the rest, because that is up to you. That way you can make it your own. You can be proud of it. Of you were, like, it's your pixel art. So just do that. Take a couple blocks out and just spray them around. And that's going to be your Enchantress from Suicide Squad. I had a great time making this pixel art for you guys. So if you enjoyed watching this video, like button. Subscribe if you haven't so you can stay up to date with all our newest videos. And as always, thank you so much for watching. Tell your friends about us, and we'll see you next time. And like I said before, if you're interested in building Katana, El Diablo, whatever this dude's name is. Oh my god, Deadshot, that's his name, Deadshot. And then Harley Quinn and the Joker himself. Those are going to be in our recent videos. Or I might even link them down in the description below. So go check them out. And thanks for watching again. We'll see you next time.